Hello everybody, it's Tara. Beasley stands very with Cooking with Just Pies by Tara. And today we're gonna do my favorite, my all-time favorite, which is sweet potato pie. So we're actually gonna make a homemade crust. So I'm gonna show you how we do that. And then also I'll show you a little tip and a little trick on how I make my pecan crust, or my dough, look kind of decorative and fun. So hang with us. We're only going to be here for about maybe 15-20 minutes, and then to top it off we're going to do some homemade Cool Whip. So hang tight with us. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do the dough first. So first you put your flour into your mixer. I love KitchenAid because they're the best. So this flour has already been sifted. Whoops. Okay, gonna pour it in here, okay, down to the last drop. Okay. And then we're gonna put in 2 sticks of butter. Before we do that, I'm gonna put in just a little pinch of salt, well, more than a pinch. Half a tablespoon, okay? And then I'm also going to add a little bit of sugar because I like my crust to be a little sweet, right? So we're gonna pour that in. Okay. I always like to mix it in with a spoon. Helps, right? But like I said, the handy dandy KitchenAid mixer is the bomb, guys. I love, love, love my KitchenAid mixer. This is like the best investment I've ever made. So if you're a baker, you're a home enthusiast baker, you have a restaurant, you're aspiring to have a restaurant, you bake at home, you cook at home, you sell out of your kitchen like I used to do. This is what I was using, guys, was my handy dandy KitchenAid, and I carried it everywhere with me. Everywhere I went, I carried this KitchenAid mixer. So here we go. So we're gonna add in our butter. Remember, our butter is unsalted. So you always wanna use unsalted butter. I was supposed to chop that up in little cubes, but I'm gonna try to save us a little bit of time. Okay. It's better for your butter to be cold, but if not, it's okay. Okay, so we are going to put this on low speed until it like curdles up. And it's gonna take a couple of minutes. So while I'm doing that, while it's going around and around and around, we are going to add some cold water to it. This is why you're supposed to cut your butter up in little chunks, because it gets stuck. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Can you get just a little bit closer for all of our friends at home so they can see inside what the flour and the butter, how it incorporates together? Yes, there we go. So that's going to do what it does. And I'm just going to get some cold, cold, cold water. There we go. Now for the water, the colder the better, okay? So the colder the better. So see how it's starting to get a little crumbly, like crumbs? That's what we want. We want all that butter and the flour to mix in together very well, blend in. I'm gonna speed it up just a little bit. There we are. Look at that. Oh my God. Look at all that butter, flour. It's going. We're gonna add our water in shortly. You want it to get very, very, very clumped together. And it's almost ready. So look, it's getting really coarse. So we're just gonna start adding in some water, very cold water. There we go. It's really quite easy. Homemade dough for your pie. So remember, you can use this dough for pretty much anything. You can use it for chicken pot pies, beef pot pies. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Yep, that's how we want it. Just a little bit more water. Yep. You can use these for anything. This recipe is going to be for 2 pie crust. So you can make a chicken pot pie or an apple pie with this recipe. So I use 2.5 cups of flour. You see that? Yep. I know, it looks so weird, huh? We are working this baby, yes. I know, pumpkin, I know. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna take out, so first I'm going to put some flour on my hands because the dough is really, really soft and it's room temperature, of course. So we don't want the dough to stick, right? So I'm just gonna flour my surface here because we're gonna have to roll this baby out. So we're just gonna flour the surface. Now my countertop has been sanitized, right? Okay. Okay. This is the fun part, guys. You bake, this is the part that you're gonna absolutely love because you are actually touching everything with your hands and you're putting your hard-earned time, love. So the thing about cooking is that, this is why I actually love to bake, is because for number one, you can't do anything really quickly with baking, okay? On top of that, you have to make sure that whatever emotion and feeling that you have that day, oh my God, you better make sure you're in a good mood when you're cooking, especially desserts. All right, so remember my surface is floured and so are my hands. And I'm just gonna keep kneading the dough with my hands. I'm gonna keep getting some flour on my hands. You can't really put too much, only because this has to knead. Okay, like I said, this is the fun part, especially if you have kids. They're gonna love this. So, I'm gonna show you, and remember, here's a key tip and a trick. I'm gonna teach you 2 tricks. Number 1, we're gonna make our dough really nice and fancy. But the second tip is, the colder your water, the flakier your pie crust. Remember that. The colder your water, the flakier your pie crust. All right. So I've made a mess on my sleeve, but that's all good. Okay. Remember, you want that flour in there. Knead it real good. Sorry it's taking a while, but hey, good things come with a price, don't they? Yes. All right, and so we're gonna make a big ball like this, like so. Here we go. Okay, I'm having too much fun. Okay. All right, so we're gonna cut this puppy in half. You can do it with your hands or you can do it with a butter knife. Doesn't matter. Like I said, I like to cook with my hands. I'm gonna use a little bit more since we're just demonstrating here. All right, so I'm gonna flour my surface. Once again, keep flour on deck, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it on deck. The cool part is, like I said, this is so freaking easy to do. So I also flour my rolling pin. So like I said, keep flour handy. So I flour my rolling pin because you have to make sure that you don't run your dough doesn't get too sticky, okay? All right, here we go. Let's actually make this into an actual ball, because what's gonna happen is, if it's in a circle, it'll roll out nice and evenly, and that's what we want, because remember, we're making a pie. Okay, see these creases right there? That is gonna create a groove and a nice flaky crust for you. And remember, this is all butter, so there's nothing but goodness up in here. Okay, all right, cool. So you roll it front. Okay, you don't want it to be too thick. But remember, homemade dough is not very forgivable. So what I mean by that is, see how it rips and tears? It's not like a store-bought dough, okay? So you have to be a little careful with it. I know I'm having a little too much fun here. See? But the good news is your rolling pin will repair anything. So any tears, anything like that, if you have some extra dough, you can piece it together and roll it right on in there. See how we did that? Just roll it right on in there. You got some holes. You can just knead it together in your dough and just roll it right on in, okay? Now, let's talk about thickness. Okay, remember your pie pan is only should be only about 9 inches. Some of them are 8, but for the most part, they're about 8 3/4 or 9 inches around. So what we're gonna do, and keep that here. So if you can get a little bit close, see the thickness, this is about the thickness that you want. Remember, for a sweet potato pie, the filling is very heavy and very dense, so you can go for a little bit thinner. Now, if we were gonna make pecan pie, I would probably do the same, but for like a chicken pot pie, maybe just a tad bit thinner, and the reason why is because you have all that chicken and you really want to taste the flavor of it, okay? So now let's grease our pie pan. I use pan cooking spray, and it's also a baking spray for non-stick, but you can use whatever non-stick you choose. I prefer pan. Okay, all right. So you can take your pie pan, you can always turn it around and so you can see, but I'll tell you what I do. Now, remember, we have to be really careful with this one. I just slide it right under, right? So slide it right under and just let it drape. There we go. Because remember, it's really soft. Very, 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 very soft. Okay, there we go. We looking good so far, family. All right, so let's show you how to decorate this puppy. This is gonna be fun. So I have some scissors that I use for my food. So we're just gonna go around and see all this excess trimming around here. Just cut just a little bit off of it right here. No, these are not cooking shears, but the cooking shears are, I don't really like them for dough. Let's just say that. These are very precise, and if you're using them for cooking and you designate them for cooking, it's fine. Just don't use them to do anything else with. Perfect. Okay. We are going to decorate this. It's going to be so pretty, and it's so easy. I get so many questions. I even had someone ask me if a machine actually what I call crimped my pie crust. So I'm gonna show you this little hack. Now, if you're not in the mood to make homemade dough, you can go buy some at the grocery store. And it won't be just the same, but it will taste delicious. Stay away from the frozen pie crust. Right, now remember, waste not, want not. So we're never gonna throw this away. We're gonna save this for later. You can even make a miniature pie out of that one. So you never wanna do that. So here, you are going to take your fingers. Okay, this is a little too thick. So remember, it's never gonna just be perfect. You just gotta find your groove in it, guys. All right, let's cut a little, trim a little off here too. All right, guys, so roll with me here. Take your two fingers, your index and your thumb, place it on your pie pan. Fold it, tuck it right under, take your index finger, point, and squeeze. And look at that. Point and squeeze. You may have to do a little tucking. That's okay. Remember, this is not store-bought, so it is not going to be 100% perfect. You have to manipulate it. Sometimes you have to, remember, always flour your fingers so that way the dough doesn't stick. And it's okay that you can see the flour. It will cook right perfectly, don't worry about it. So see that, how it's starting off really nicely. Oh my God, this is gonna be so pretty. This is beautiful, guys. This is my favorite part, by the way. I know I'm cheesy, but this is one of my favorite parts. Ooh. Okay, here we go. So remember, you're just going to gently hold your fingers. Gently, do not squeeze too hard. This is dough. It is very delicate. Remember, thumb and index finger, and you squeeze. Look at that. Isn't it pretty? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm sharing this. But guess what? It's wonderful to share. Here we go. Sorry, I'm concentrating. Here we go, guys. This one is going to be so pretty. Now, after you're done with your crimping your pie crust, make sure you put it in the freezer before you fill it for about 15 minutes, okay? At least 15 minutes. Look at that. Oh my God. So beautiful, so pretty. I love this. Like I said, this is really simple and easy to do. And if you've eaten any of my pies at my restaurant, you know that this is the only way you will see one of my pie crusts. If it's not crimped, TB didn't do it. Just kidding. Actually, I'm not. I always do this. There's no better way to do it. Like once you get used to it, it took me a while to get used to it, I won't lie. But once you get used to it, you're gonna love it. Like it's just like natural for me. Like I don't do it any other way but to crimp it. And because I'm such a perfectionist, I'll make sure that the points, I squeeze them again because I'm just a nutball like that. But it's okay because you should be good at everything you do. That's what the Lord says. Okay, perfect. Now, see how this part is a little messed up? That's totally fine. You're just gonna take a little bit of this dough. Remember, dough is so forgiving, right? You didn't use enough, that's totally fine. And tuck it here. Now, squeeze, we're almost done. I'm gonna speed this up here. Okay, we're almost done. Let's do a little bit more trimming here. Remember, dough shrinks when it cooks too a little bit. Now, with all that butter in this crust, your pie should not stick. You might have an air bubble. Go ahead and put your fingers in here and push that down. Take your hands, just poke it a little bit with your nails. Now, we're only doing this because we're cooking from home, right? Now, let's put this puppy in the freezer and let's get started on our filling. All right, we got, it's gonna be a mess, but all right, let's get started on our filling. First, you're gonna need a mixer, okay? And I use a stick of butter. So these sweet potatoes, ooh, they have a little bit too much water. Don't film me. They have a little bit too much water, and that's okay. So we just pour it off. Now, what we're gonna do, I just go ahead and remember, if you listened and watched last week, I do not measure butter. Butter makes everything taste better. So that's how we roll with the butter, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is, what I like to do is soften them up and mash them a little bit. And you can do that with your mixer, your hand beater, there we go, hand mixer. So the butter is nice and soft, right? These sweet potatoes, I just took them off the oven off the stove about 30 minutes ago. So the butter, as you see, is melting. These are gonna be so good, I can tell. So let's get that butter incorporated in here. I hope you can hear me. Yes. Oh, look at that. Oh my God, look at that butter. Woo! What did I tell you? Now, remember, a sweet potato is still a potato, even though it is a sweet one. So you're gonna put your seasoning. This is my cinnamon nutmeg blend. So you're gonna add this in here. So we're making enough mix for about 2 pies. So I'm just gonna put that in there. Then I'm also going to add some white sugar because it's really essential. I even think sweet potato pie is essential, sorry. It's just one of my favorites. Okay, this is a 1/4 cup, so that was 1/4 and a half. You gotta use a lot of sugar. Okay, so we're gonna blend this in really nice. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. All right, then we're gonna put a little bit of brown sugar. Not much. Just 1/3. So 1/3 of brown sugar. Then I'm gonna put a little bit of vanilla. This is pure vanilla. So you only need a little bit. Mix that in really good. We're almost done, believe it or not. We are almost done. Mix that in real good. Mix it in really good. Ah, yummy. Okay. 1 egg. Okay, that's 1 egg. Remember, we're making enough for 2.5 pies. So 2 pies, 2 regular size pies, and then a mini pie. If you have ever been to my restaurant, or if you've been to Nordstrom and bought some of my mini pies, they are delicious too. They taste the same, but it's heaven because it is all yours, and it's 3 inches of goodness. Let's mix this in. Now, here's the trick. Add a little bit of vanilla at this point. There we go. There we go. Okay. Mix that in really good. Yes. Now, for the grand finale, get you one of these scooper thingies, spatula. I think it's called a spatula. Anyway, it matches my KitchenAid, so I love it. I'm old school, so I use condensed milk in mine. Not sure if you do that. Many of you probably learned this from your grandmother. Okay. So we will mix this in. Bit more. Okay. And a little bit more. There we go. And we're pretty much done. I mean, just needed to mix, right? Okay, and we're actually ready to fill. You want to shake your excess off. So if you notice, like right now, your sweet potatoes will have strings on them. And what'll happen is once you're blending them with your hand mixer, they'll start wrapping and winding around your beaters, which is awesome because you don't have to pick them out anymore. I don't know how our grandparents did it, but they did it with the fork. That's amazing. Okay, so. Sorry. Okay, so we are going to scoop the sides and just stir it a little bit. There we go. Like I said, I'm old school. I still like to fill everything. Oh my God, this is one of my favorite songs. Any Mary J. Blige fans out there? Keep in mind, I do not own the rights to this music, but I love it. I cook in the kitchen all the time, and this is actually where I just zone out. I mean, like I'll put some Mary J. Blige on, My Life, and I can listen to the whole CD from front to back with no problem. You would think I was Mary J. Blige the way I'm in here howling. All right, so I think we're ready for our filling. What do you think? Okay, stay right there. I'll be right back. Let's go get our pie crust. That was in the freezer. Ooh, that looks so nice and pretty, guys. Look at this. And it got a little hard. See, that was so quick. All right, so we're gonna fill it in here, fill it in. See, I told you I was gonna show you some tips and tricks. Shout out to all my family watching. My brother James, Aisha, my sister Paris, who is sick and couldn't join us today. Aw, feel better, Pooh. My sister Aisha and Lakeisha and Don and my brother Donnell and Al. Did I miss anybody? And my lovely honey bunny, who is the camera woman, Rhonda. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna beautify this just a little bit. Okay. Watch this. Watch this. This is my signature move. If my sweet potato pie doesn't look like this, you didn't buy it from Just Pies by Tara. And remember, you can order a pie. You can come to our restaurant, Nooney's Place at 301 Georgia Street in Vallejo. Or you can order online. People are even Grubhubbing and DoorDashing whole pies. That is so amazing. Shout out to all of our customers at Nooney's Place. Bam! Look at that. Oh my God. Isn't that amazing? Yes. So, unfortunately, you can't freeze it. You have to cook it right away. So let's put the oven on 350, and we're gonna cook it for about 55 to 60 minutes, okay? So, shame on me, I didn't put the oven on, but that's all good. And then I'm gonna show you what the pie will actually look like once it is complete. Look at that. That's the finished product. Absolutely beautiful and delicious. Look at all the grooves in the pie. See, if you just take the back of your spoon, it's all in the wrist. It's in the wrist game. You just smooth it on out. And this is how beautiful it comes out. You can do this for Thanksgiving. If you don't want to, I can do it for you. But the thing is, your family will think you're a professional baker. Thank you later. All right, so really quickly, I'm gonna rinse off my beaters and we're gonna make some homemade whipped topping to go with this. Your family's gonna love you. We're almost done. They are gonna absolutely love you for this one. Okay, so the key to your homemade whipped topping It's really quick, it's really simple, it doesn't take that long, and you look like, hey, you're a professional. Why go buy the store-bought when you can make it yourself, right? Okay, so we have our heavy whipping cream right here. You're gonna put some confections sugar. Not very much. This is a 1/4 cup, so you only need just a smidge. You don't want it too sweet. Remember, the heavy whipping cream has no taste to it, so you do have to put some sugar. Okay. Some people put a hint of vanilla, and I'm one of those people. So I just use a hint of vanilla. There we go, just a hint. Okay, so we're almost done. This is going to taste so delicious, and it's gonna whip up so nice and quickly, you're not even gonna believe this. Put your hand mixer on high. Here we go. Yep, it's bubbling up nice and quick for us. There we go. Thanks for being so patient, camera lady. All right. I'm getting hungry. Oh my God, I want something sweet to eat now. Sorry guys, it's taking a little longer than I expected. Is this heavy whipping cream? I hope I didn't use the half and half. I did? Yeah, I did. No wonder. I think I used half and half. That was smart. Well, goof ups, they happen. So sorry about the mix up, but hey, life happens. So join me here next Friday at 8:30, Cooking with Just Pies by Tara, and we are signing off. Thank you, good night, and I love you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and also on YouTube. So remember, follow Just Pies by Tara. You'll see it, like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love.